Hey everybody, Artosis here, bringing you some more CMSL Season 4. This is from Group E, and it's the decider match in the round of 24. We have in the bottom right, Rush, one of the greatest Terran players in the world. In the bottom left, we have Ample, a very strong Terran player, but definitely not quite the level of Rush, I think most people would say. Now, that being said, the map is Polypoid, a big 4-player map, and it is Terran versus Terran. And honestly, neither of these players is known for their Terran versus Terran. Both are known for having extremely strong Terran versus Protoss, and Rush is known for having extremely strong Terran versus Zerg. But you don't really think of TVT when you think of these guys. So I'm not exactly sure how they'll match up. I definitely would favor Rush, as he's just so strong lately. But you never know. When you get to this type of level, anyone can take a game off of anyone. Well, you know, it is a 4-player map, so I guess the first thing we're going to be looking for is what type of expansions they're going to take. Command Center first is always possible. Gasless expands are very, very, very popular, and I'm kind of expecting to see some of those. And of course, there's just the good old factory expand, which is kind of a safe one. Gives you a few other options, but falls behind the other two a little bit. We already see neither side is going to be putting a barracks out into the middle. So that actually tells us quite a bit, right? They can't really instantly punish any sort of fast expansion. Barracks here in the main base. Barracks here in the main base. And now we can see the gases. Okay. So Rush is going to go ahead and take his gas. So is Ample. So factory expand against factory expand. Oh, I'm kind of excited to see this. You don't see it like every game anymore. Gasless expand has just become so popular amongst strong Terran players, really everywhere from B rank up, basically. Everyone's just going gasless expand quite often, using that bunker to defend themselves and just getting a bit further ahead in economy. But you know what? The factory expand, absolutely doable. You have ways to combat everything pretty much. Looking at the scouting patterns, Rush going to find Ample first, and Ample immediately turns his SCV around knowing, oh, that means you're in the bottom right 100%. So he's going to go ahead and send it down there and just get a slightly later scout. So very nicely done from him. Factory coming up on both sides. You can see Rush is actually taking all his SCVs out of the gas. Ample leaves a couple on, and this SCV sees that. So when you see 2 SCVs left on gas, that can mean absolutely anything. You're not super overmining gas, so you can still go command center, but 2 SCVs left on gas are enough to afford starport, second factory, kind of anything you want. And as the Marine comes out, you have to run because the Marine will hunt down the SCV over time. So we don't know yet, and he doesn't know yet exactly what Ample is going to be up to. Ample makes 2 Marines. 2 Marines is the amount that most people make. Ample's SCV actually stayed alive for an extremely long amount of time and gets a scout off on Rush's command center. So Rush, not screwing around here, just going to get his expansion up ASAP. Gets his guys back on gas very, very quickly as well. We'll see what he wants to do with that. And an add-on here with a high ground command center. Okay, this is some mind games going down from Ample. Going for the add-on, basically, if you make your command center on low ground and you go for an add-on and your opponent just sends over a vulture, you're probably going to lose the game at high levels. They're going to kill your Marines. They're going to kill the SCV there. They're going to get up the ramp. The add-on just takes so long, 25 seconds to build, whereas a vulture is only 19. So you kind of you deal too much damage to him in that way. So what he's done is he kept 2 SCVs on gas, which makes it very nebulous. Basically, Rush has no idea what's going on. He blocks the ramp so he can't be scouted. Goes add-on and command center on high ground. So right now, as Rush, you're probably thinking, oh gosh, this could be just about anything. And you're not going to know until this barracks gets in here and scouts, or he comes down the ramp. Right? This could be a 2-factor all-in. This could be wraiths. This could be just about anything. And so you see he's kind of trying to cover all his bases. He's getting an armory very quickly, which we can tell he absolutely does not need. He's just making some siege tanks and trying to figure this out. Well, a tank has gone down the ramp and killed off the SCV that was scouting there. And as he flies over here and sees that second factory, he's starting to put this together. And in fact, we'll see this command center momentarily. I think he assumes that it's there, seeing the timing of the second factory, and he sees it. So This was really cool to kind of see the way that Ample did this bit of a mind game against Rush. Now, is Rush behind because of this? I would say no. He's not behind, right? He gets to mine a little bit quicker. I guess that we are going to have the quicker mine upgrade for his opponent because, you know, Rush had to add extra things such as going into an armory just in case of Wraith. But yeah, it seems all right on both sides. Very playable. So in close spawns, as can happen in Factory Expand versus Factory Expand, 2 siege tanks and Vulture Rally is really powerful. You want to get in there and try to pick your opponent's vultures off, use your own vultures to lay some mines, gain some positioning on your opponent. But Rush has the high ground here. He is not going to really take anything from Ample. Look at this. He's actually trying to offensively lay mines. I'm a little bit surprised about that, but he's targeting very well. Taking a look at the health of the tanks. Both sides about the same as far as health. A lot of mines from both sides here also. And you can see there's a bit of a no man's land. They can't really approach each other with their siege tanks. So the SCV going to come up to repair. We are closer to Rush's base. Also, you can see that he has gotten that SCV advantage. Oh my god, a huge moment here from Ample. I actually didn't realize he rushed up very quickly into siege mode. That's quicker than we see it oftentimes. But oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, he gets the siege tank, but it does end up living right there with just 7 health. This was a great move to pick off 1 siege tank, almost 2. If he can get that other siege tank, that would be gigantic. Let's see what he's got at home. Going up to 4 factories. He has an armory. He's getting an academy as well. Even left a unit at home for defense against the vultures. Okay, looks like Rush will save the siege tank. That's actually kind of a crucial move. This is going to be a very important unit. Oh! And Ample getting a little bit too greedy there. Trying to move up his siege tank to deal some more damage. But a mine does end up hitting. Looks like he will end up taking down that tank. Oh, looks like this one up here got hit by a mine. So Rush ends up holding. Let's take stock of where we're at, okay? Starport is almost done. We have Armory Academy. We're going up to 4 facts. Over here, we're going up to 4 facts slightly quicker. Armory Academy, no Starport. Starport just starting now. SCV count, 44 against 34. That's where the big difference lies here. Other than that, it's pretty close. But definitely having those additional 8 to 10 SCVs at a time is gigantic for Rush. He's going to be able to get up a 3rd command center more quickly or produce units more regularly. Also, his Starport is going to give him a bit more flexibility. He has the opportunity to either do drops or go for some cloaked wraiths. So Rush using his scan now to clear out some of these mines. He wants to retake this type of area here. Normally what you'll end up doing is putting your tanks right about there, and they can block everything, right? They block attacks this way. They block attacks coming around this way. He's laying some mines around the map. His speed upgrade almost done, so Rush should be gaining map control here. Even though we see Amp with a few units in the center, I think these units are only meant to catch something coming out like one time. Like if you're not going to really expect those there. So if he runs his vultures through the center, for instance, he's going to take a big volley from them. Well, he is sending up some more tanks, so maybe he wants to set up a light contain in this area as well. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere, though. It looks like Rush has declined to build too many more SCVs, whereas Ample continuing to pump them out. So he is catching up in those workers that we were talking about before. But notice he is on 4 facts. It looks like he's getting a little bit supply blocked here as well. The money is a little bit tight till you get up to a good SCV count. A drop coming in right now. Oh, he's got perfect anti-drop, though. Wraith and Goliath. And he's going to pick off that dropship in a matter of seconds. Now, losing the first dropship, it's sad, but it happens sometimes. Let's see how many SCVs he can actually end up getting. Wow, he's actually getting a very fair amount. Not too bad, right? He's now up 10 SCVs once again, so kind of keeping that economic advantage. Rush is getting his 3rd base at the mineral only. Trying to retake a bunch of the map as well. Ample actually coming in with his vultures. If he gets a mine connect, this could be big. It's hard to imagine, though, with this many vultures here on the defense. Yeah, he doesn't really get it. So a bit of a waste there from Ample. Ample, though, he is making a third command center on location. Actually started it just after Rush's third command center. And this is at a gas base, so that definitely does make a bit of a difference. It's going to allow him, if he wants, to get into some Wraith play, Dropship play. You know, 3 factory siege tanks is going to be very easy for him to support at that point as well. And, of course, this one can be taken later pretty easily. Now, Rush, right? He's got the mineral base. Does he utilize these minerals to do a factory explosion? Or is he going to utilize them for another quick 4th base? Both are really reasonable ways to play, right? You do the factory explosion if you think you can roll through your opponent and gain an upper hand in that way. And other than that, you just kind of use it to keep up constant production of your units, to reinforce your lines, and to add another command center. And it looks like he does want to go down that route, right? He's going to go ahead, scan, remove these mines that are blocking him, and get a 4th command center down. So that's going to work quite well for him. He is going up to 3 add-ons as well. A lot of times when you're producing vultures, you bank some extra gas. So he does feel that banked gas and wants to get some extra siege tanks out. Especially after that +2 starts, you can afford it. Looks like some siege lines going on in the center. A little bit of sloppiness here from Rush. Losing a couple tanks. Here's some mines going off. Hard to keep track of absolutely every little area here in the TVT. Lots of different fronts. The defense that Ample's chosen for this, just 4 vultures on the high ground. That'll do pretty well, actually, against any vulture harassment that comes in. It'll buy him enough time to send reinforcements up. Let's see what he's up to here. Not really producing out of the starport. He does have his armory spinning for +1. Rush, let's see. Yeah, he has +1 spinning as well. It's almost done. He does have the science facility done, so he can start that +2 right away, which is the most crucial upgrade in this matchup. At +2 weapons on your siege tanks. So important. Allows you to 2-hit tanks instead of just a single. Or a triple hit, rather. All right, so let's take a look at what Rush is doing here. I gotta say, I'm a fan of the way he's dividing this map. So Ample took a more aggressive stance early on, right? Remember down here where he was fighting with some tanks? He had brought the fight over to Rush's side of the map. And then he started sieging out a little bit beyond center. And Terran vs. Terran is really the matchup where the amount of ground you have really does matter. But Rush has dropped back. He's made a very strong siege tank line and then a huge amount of spider mines up here to cut the map in half. And what he's doing with this is quickly expanding. He realizes Ample is not going to break him. Ample's going for a containment strategy. So if your opponent is containing, but you have open area, you can do something like this and just quickly expand. So he took this, utilized those minerals, instead of adding factories, went into taking this base. And now you know what he's doing? He's taking another base. And I bet you he'll start a command center here relatively soon. His SCV count is fantastic at 75. That's a great number for Terran vs. Terran. And he's starting to throw down turrets as well. Look at this. Triple missile turret, floating the eBay to see incoming drops. He's kind of zoning out any attacks. He's reinforcing his siege lines. He's already got the mines, but as Ample moves up the map, so does Rush. He counters where he's moving. Rush's play right here is really significant. It's really great. Ample, on the other hand, yeah, he rushed up to getting his 3rd gas, and he's actually doing a bit more of a factory explosion, although he is finally taking a 4th base here at the mineral. This isn't going to help him all that much. It's going to give him that extra mineral boost to produce more vultures and more command centers. But of course, Rush is getting his up more quickly. So definitely looking at this game, I feel like Rush is definitely outplaying Ample a bit. Fundamentally, he's playing some beautiful TVT here. So a bit of vultures scuffling around the map. When the map on Polypoid gets divided into sides like this, a lot of times what happens, if you can't kill each other, it turns into who has 12, who has 6. That's very, very important. Now, Ample flying by. He has made 3 dropships, a very strong play. Oh, already some good turret coverage here from Rush. Where is Rush's army? He doesn't really have anything up here. So these are going to suicide in, but they are going to stop mining at this base. Looks like he's going to end up losing. Oh, only one of the dropships ends up dying. But he has enough units here that this is going to be a pain in the neck to get rid of. Oh, he actually moves very, very far forward. So That's going to make it a little bit easier for Rush. If you clump your tanks a little bit more closer together, they'll cover each other a bit better, but Rush is going to be able to attack move through this, so not the biggest deal. And honestly, I think an attack move through it would have been a bit better than sitting here, but that's all right. More factories going down for Rush. This is the position where it's hardest to place your factories, and we see it's been kind of a frantic game. His depot placement is not stellar, so he's having a hard time. He's putting factories kind of all over the place. Ample going for a gigantic attack right now. Rush, I think, should have enough. He might end up losing this base. It is a possibility if Ample can squeeze some tanks up here. Send some vultures up. Oh, no. He's actually attacking fully into the massive siege tanks. There is +2 attack here as well, so you're not going to be able to break that at the moment. Rush bringing down some of his anti-containment siege tanks here to help fight from the high ground as well. So Ample's attack not going to end up breaking him. Although Ample is kind of everywhere right now, running some vultures around, gets into this 4th base of Rush. But Rush's SCV count still very high, still looking very healthy. So this little bit of a contain does exist, but I think that Ample needs to pull this back. He's going to lose these units very soon if he does not. At this point, it might be worth it for Rush to even pull some SCVs to get in here and bust this up ASAP. So a little bit of scuffling going on. Redefended up here. Looks like Ample wants to claim this 12 o'clock for his own. In fact, making a turret here as well. He might try to claim this base. Unfortunately for him, he is losing a chunk of units. Still has a reasonably strong standing army. 4 dropships flying around the map right now. He's sending SCVs around to build some additional turrets to try to really cut this map in half. Rush now has added some dropships as well. 5 of them flying up. They're not full, though. He only has a few units in them at the moment. Lots of scans going down. This is a great location to drop. Utilize this high ground to build an offense into the top right. So it looks like Ample going to go ahead and spread here. This is going to be very hard to break for Rush. But with dropships, with the rest of his army, it's definitely doable. But now Ample is kind of on both sides of this area. If he can gain this whole stretch, let me really zoom out to show you. If he can gain, like if this entire area becomes his, that means this base is his. So he's already secured half of the map if he gains this area. The mineral bases don't really matter as much as you get super late game. The minerals don't really do that much for you, but turn into turrets. But Rush is going to make his own strong move now, flying 5 dropships over here. It doesn't look like he wants to try to clean up this. Instead, he's going for the throat. If you land here and clear this, you have it 100%. If you go over here and it gets cleaned up, you might be in trouble as turrets are being made here. But he drops off. That is a massive drop. Only a single Goliath in here, but we haven't seen Wraith production as of yet. Ample coming up. He's going to bring his SCVs out to fight. And drops his dropships on it as well, dropping some mines onto the tanks. And honestly, that was a good clear. That was really nice how Ample cleared that. Yes, he lost a lot of SCVs, but he still got 58. You can replace those SCVs. It's not that big a deal. How many command centers does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, no problem. He can make those in less than a minute. He can make those right back. So some good moves coming out of Ample here. There are still some mines here, but Rush has actually been boxed back quite a bit. Ample has made some good, strong moves. Oh my god, I actually didn't see this coming. Rush diving for the main base. One of the strongest moves you can have. A lot of anti-air hitting his dropships. A lot of them do get back here to unload. A good amount of Goliaths in here as well, so he can actually pick off dropships of Ample. Oh, the siege tank's just so cost efficient in situations like this. Ample has lost most of his dropships here. He didn't have sufficient anti-air, anti-turrets. He wasn't quick enough to stop this, so some damage will be dealt. This is not a killing blow by any means. He will be able to push this out, but it's really time-consuming, very annoying for him, and very efficient for Rush. I think that's one of the main things we can look at, right? He just killed a bunch of SCVs up here, and now he's being cost-efficient down here. If you keep doing moves like that long enough, your opponent isn't going to be able to build a big bank or a big army. Now it looks like Rush continuing to push forward. He does have those 3-2 upgrades. Ample sitting on +3, +1. Will back up with his tanks. He's now lost this area that he did control before. Rush gonna move north on the map. I feel like Rush may want to move into this area. He's been scanning an awful lot. At this point, you have so many comm stats, it's almost like map hack. All right, he's going to move his army into this area. Uh-oh, Ample. A naked base right here. These vultures going to wreak havoc. What does he have up here? No units whatsoever. This is terrible news right now for Ample. He just cleaned up the drop, but already there's another very strong attack going towards the top left. He's still got like some nice positioning with some of his units, right? He's got some nice areas worked up, but losing 2 of your bases here is going to be something almost impossible to come back from. Let's see if he can save it. Drops in 3 siege tanks and sieges them. This was a good move. Unfortunately for him, Rush is going to squeeze up here and be able to siege. That's going to die mining at this base. So that's 2 less bases now for Ample. Rush at this point getting a comical amount of dropships. How many dropships is this? It's got 10. Oh, that's madness. So if it's all siege tanks, you're looking at a good 40 supply plus 10, 50 supply flying around. If it's Goliaths, I mean, that's like 100 supply. So he is going to put all of his eggs into dropships, but it's probably going to work. We don't see that much anti-air. You can kind of fly over small amounts of turrets. He could definitely get a killing blow coming up, I think. Ample is still trying to cover some ground. He still has a very strong army. Let's not forget that. In fact, his actual standing army is probably stronger than Rush's. He's down 16 SCVs, but only 20 army supply. And there's 20 army supply in dropships. So Ample still has really strong things going on for him. It's just losing these bases, plus Rush with the possibility of such a strong move is going to make this very difficult. All right, what is Rush going to do with these dropships? This is what I want to see. Oh, well, they're not going to go very far. They got to drop on top of this. Rush coming down with a gigantic flank, but actually a small flank here from Ample as well. Yeah, Rush should be able to hold on here without too much problem. A little bit sloppy there, losing a few extra units, but you know what? He's got the economy to back that up. No big deal. Taking extra command centers absolutely all over the place. How many dropships are we up to? We're up to 11 dropships. At what point is it too many? That is a huge amount. You can group them with an SCV and micro them like mutas at this point. Ooh, walking through some of those very old mines. Still just as deadly as before. Ample going to take this area over once again. Again, it's an important area. There's not that much here. You can see Rush actually pushing his SCVs here because he knows that if you take all this and right-click up the ramp, you're going to break him. So he does go ahead and block any moves like that. All right, it's dropship time. Some vulture harassment here. Just going to drop off a few units to clean that up. Let's see where he's headed. Maybe just drop right on top of these armies to clear them. Yeah, he's going to bring the SCVs down. Going to siege up here at his top right natural base. Make sure that that can't be attacked anymore. Still Ample unable to retake these bases. He's scanning, checking out what's there. He realizes he needs to break these. He has to take these. Because what does he have left mining? Oh my god, only 5 SCVs here. He's got 7 SCVs here mining. And that's it. This is empty. This is empty. He's got 12 SCVs mining minerals right now. It's not looking so hot. The dropships of Rush being loaded up once again here. This should be the killing blow, really. The supply has dropped dangerously low for Ample. 120, you're not going to hold very much there. Scans to see what type of anti-air is here in his way. Just scans going absolutely everywhere, kind of mapping out his journey. And with just a few turrets here on the edge of the base, there's no way you can hold this. Ample frantically getting in here, going to lay some mines. But he can drop absolutely anywhere. Look at that. Siege is up. That means these factories are gone. Every depot's gone. The armories are gone. The Comstad, the Academy. I mean, this is the end. And GG is called. Rush takes down Ample and advances.